Well, there it is. The second quarterback of the 2022 NFL draft is finally off the board. It only took 3 hours in the second night for Desmond Ridder to go 74th to the Atlanta Falcons. Will Brinson with Josh Edwards breaking down the pick for Atlanta and what it means. The Falcons, Josh, thought to be maybe in the market for a quarterback in the first round. It turns out they found a guy in the third round that reportedly a ton of teams had first round grades on. Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati, a big time winner, maybe questions about his accuracy, questions about his upside, but in that Russell Wilson range, I don't want to say he's like Russ because but Russ is a winner. Russ fell because he was short. What's your grade for Ridder? What do you think about this matchup with Atlanta?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to believe that any team would have a first-round grade on him because of how far he fell. I mean, you don't pass on first-round grades in the second round at any position, let alone the quarterback position. Even a team that has an entrenched starter at the quarterback position would be enticed to take a player that they valued in the first round at the quarterback position. So this is more in line with where I saw Desmond Ridder being taken. He does have some accuracy issues. He does have the great leadership, like you said. But some people believe that his accuracy can be cleaned up with more proper footwork and really nailing that muscle memory in his footwork. If that's the case, you're talking about a big quarterback that showed a lot of mobility in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine, and he's got a ton of upside to go in and compete for a job at Atlanta.
Yeah, and I think you can make a reasonable case that Ridder's got some similar characteristics to Marcus Mariota, at least from the movement, the potential deep ball accuracy, the ability to throw the ball down the field. And so that makes a lot of sense if you're Atlanta. Again, we've talked about this at length on the podcast, and you don't want, if you draft that quarterback in the first round, your clock is starting. If you draft that quarterback in the third round, you're going to get some slack. Like, this is a guy who's expected to be a backup. If he steals the job from Marcus Mariota, that's gravy for the Falcons. They add London in the first round at 8th overall. They have Kyle Pitts. And now you have Mariota and Ridder. And if Ridder ends up being a decent above average quarterback, you can legitimately say that the Falcons offense could be pretty good if Calvin Ridley comes back and they can develop that offensive line. So sure, that's a lot to ask, but it's not out of the question that this could end up being a really nice pick for the Falcons. And if you're a rebuilding team, I like taking these mid-round shots, especially with guys who are falling at the quarterback position, because we've seen it with the Texans and Davis Mills. We don't know if they have the guy, but maybe they found a starter late in last year's draft. It could be that the Atlanta Falcons did the same.
I absolutely agree. I mean, historically, day 2 picks do not work out, but when they do, you get tremendous value. Just like you were talking about earlier with Russell Wilson, Davis Mills looks like a solid quarterback, even if he doesn't end up being one of those elite players. And then Dak Prescott in Dallas, going on in the 5th round. If you can get one of those players, there is no better value in the NFL draft. And Atlanta is hoping that ends up being the case here with a player that certainly has the traits to develop into that type of a player.
Yeah, and I like it. You wait and you wait and you wait, and he falls far enough where you say, okay, we're going to take our shot here. It's a 3rd round pick. 3rd round picks are valuable, of course, but they don't always pan out. And if it does pan out at the quarterback position, you are cooking with gas. I think an A is a perfectly fine grade. I'll go B plus. Actually, no, I'll go A minus, because it at least kept alive my hope for my Giants drafting Malik Willis bet for a little bit longer before I throw that thing in the scrap heap. Give us your grade for Desmond Ridder to the Atlanta Falcons in the comments. Make sure and like the video and hit subscribe and turn on alerts.